You've heard about the mighty pyramids of Egypt, the majestic temples of ancient Greece, and the sprawling cities of Mesopotamia. But have you ever heard about the cradle of civilization? The oldest culture of them all. A civilization that lived in the Balkans for almost 1,000 years. They knew thermal heating. They developed a culture of housing. They were adept at craftsmanship, pottery and trade, an avant-garde of the Stone Age. Today we're taking a journey back in time to uncover the mysteries of Europe's oldest culture, the vinca culture. There is so much amazing evidence of their existence in the form of artifacts, but some questions remain. Where did these people go? And why are there almost no remains of their deceased? The vinca culture, also known as the Tordash culture, emerged over 8,000 years ago during the Neolithic period in southeastern Europe. It's often regarded as Europe's first civilization, thriving between 5,400 BC and 4,500 BC. The ancient society marked a significant advancement in human development, with notable achievements in farming, metalwork, and possibly even the earliest forms of writing. The vinca culture was primarily located in modern-day Serbia and Kosovo, but it also extended into parts of Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, and North Macedonia. Regionally speaking, vinca sits strategically at the crossroads of four vital Eurasian routes: Tisa, Danube, Morava, and Sarava rivers. This positioning made it a hotspot for travelers journeying from Asia Minor, the Aegean Sea, Central Europe, the Pontic Steppes, or the Adriatic Sea. You can almost think of vinca as a bustling hub of Neolithic Europe, just like today's Frankfurt Airport. Back in 1908, a Serbian archaeologist named Viloje Masic stumbled upon something extraordinary that became the focal point of a groundbreaking discovery: the remnants of a prehistoric settlement nestled in the Belo Brdo hill near the village of Vinca. This site, also known as White Hill, is situated just 14 kilometers downstream from Belgrade on the Danube River's right bank. Its discovery marked the beginning of what we now know as the vinca culture, named after its very first excavation site. Fast forward to 2019, a team of archaeologists led by Sanja Crnobraja Krasic made an interesting discovery in Vitkovo, Serbia. They unearthed a 6,000-year-old monumental figurine depicting the female form, believed to symbolize a fertility goddess. This remarkable artifact, known as the Venus of Jupa, is the latest addition to a series of similar figures previously discovered in the region, which sparked widespread attention in the local media and reignited interest in the vinca culture. This ancient community was not just an ordinary one. It changed our perception of the people of the Stone Age. Proper housing, farming, jewelry, pottery, and much more has been linked to the vinca culture. From excavations, it became evident that this civilization was living an advanced life. Farming was one of the mainstays of life in vinca settlements. They had a mixed subsistence economy, like agriculture, animal husbandry, hunting, and foraging. Compared to earlier cultures, the vinca folk really ramped up their farming game. They focused more on growing high-yield cereal crops like wheat, oat, and barley, which boosted their food production. They even started growing flax for textiles. One cool innovation they had was the cattle-driven plow. Yes, a plow in the Stone Age. This made farming a lot easier because it meant they didn't have to rely solely on human muscle power to till the soil. Plus, it allowed them to farm more land. Some areas where farming wasn't as easy to do were still used by the vinca people. They practiced transhumant pastoralism, which basically means they moved their livestock to different areas depending on the season. This helped them find better grazing land and access to stone and mineral resources. These ancient communities, part of the vinca Danube civilization, thrived in settlements that were remarkably large for the Neolithic era, housing hundreds to even thousands of people. Imagine bustling towns made of clay and wattle and daub construction, with sturdy foundations of stones and gravel holding them up. These settlements dwarfed even the cities of later Bronze Age civilizations in the Aegean and Near East by 1,000 years. Take Vinca Belo Brdo, for instance, sprawling over 29 hectares and bustling with up to 2,500 inhabitants, a true metropolis by Neolithic standards. Early on, Vinca settlements had a population density of 50 to 200 people per hectare. As time passed, this density remained impressive, averaging between 50 and 100 people per hectare. Devastan, a village between 4,900 to 4,650 BC, consisted of a staggering 1,028 homes and a population peaking at around 8,200, potentially making it the greatest Vinca settlement of them all. Other villages, like the Stubline, flourished around 4,700 BC and accommodated up to 4,000 people at its peak. Parta boasted a population of around 1,575 at one point, demonstrating the remarkable scale of Vinca communities. But this culture just keeps on getting more interesting. Besides housing and agriculture, they were trailblazers in the art of metalworking and making jewelry with a finesse unmatched in their time. Scientific evidence tells us that the very first metal melting happened right in Vinca, a mine bending 2,500 years before the monumental pyramids of Giza graced the Egyptian skyline. At Vinca's most renowned sites, archaeologists have unearthed a treasure trove of metal artifacts, from hefty copper bracelets to an array of finely crafted ceramic vessels. Their mastery extended beyond metalwork. They were also skilled sculptors. Among the unearthed artifacts are striking figurines, anthropomorphic and zoomorphic crafted clay figurines, each with its own story to tell. These little sculptures are possibly tied to rituals or ceremonies. A lot of them showcase female traits, like big eyes, curvy hips, and heavy breasts, symbolizing fertility. Some researchers even speculate that they might represent aliens, adding a bit of mystery to the mix. They were also the early adopters of copper. They had a good supply of copper ore from places like the Balkan Mountains, and maybe even the Carpathians. They were making vessels, pots, tools, and other cool stuff out of copper, way before most others in Central Europe. But what truly captivates the Vinca culture is their remarkable proficiency in ceramic pyrotechniques and manufacturing, which is achieved without the presence of specialized craftsmen. They could infuse ceramics with vibrant hues through precise firing techniques. Their craftsmanship in pottery was truly remarkable. They made specialized pottery kilns capable of reaching scorching temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees centigrade. Their pottery repertoire ranged from everyday kitchen essentials like plates, cups, and pots to exquisite fine ceramics likely reserved for religious ceremonies. Many of these ceramics bore intricate decorations with symbols and signs etched into them. Another interesting thing discovered in Neolithic era artifacts is the Vinca symbols. These ancient messages etched into objects can be found across Southeast Europe, from Vinca, near Belgrade, to places like Greece and Romania. Some scholars believe these symbols might be the earliest form of writing ever found, even older than the fancy writing in Egypt or Mesopotamia. But because they're short and found mainly on stuff buried with people, plus nobody knows what language they represent, they might never be deciphered. This might come as a surprise, but this culture lived without societal hierarchy. While the material artifacts unearthed are often spotlighted, it's the social organization that truly sets Vinca apart on a global scale. There's compelling evidence suggesting that Vinca society may have operated without a rigid social hierarchy. If there was a leader or chief among them, there was little indication that they enjoyed greater wealth or privilege than their peers. The striking similarity in the contents of their homes suggests a remarkable degree of equality, but their mysterious decline and further disappearance, some 6,200 years ago, still baffles researchers. One theory suggests it may have coincided with the Indo-European migrations from the eastern steppes. Yet why the accumulated knowledge of this advanced culture dissipated remains unclear. Some speculate that this knowledge found its way to Greece, nurturing the development of Greek civilization. Another puzzle is how such a great culture flourished seemingly isolated in the Danube region. It's likely that Vinca advancements, along with those of neighboring Danube cultures, were built upon existing knowledge, possibly influenced by Anatolia or other distant regions. Regardless of their origin or decline, Vinca's innovations in writing, agriculture, and metallurgy were phenomenal. Be sure to check out our videos where we talk about more interesting ancient discoveries and learn more about the past.